Hello and welcome to this series of short videos in which we'll be talking about the 10 best things that you can do in your outside space to make it brilliant for wildlife. Next up in our top 10 of things that you can do to make your outside space great for wildlife is supplementary food. And by that, I mean tasty top-ups for your birds, and if you're really lucky, for your hedgehogs too. The word supplementary is really important here because you want this to be an added bonus on top of the natural food that your wildlife finds around the garden. The stuff that they'll get because of all the plants that you planted with their berries and their seeds and their leaves and their insects, and the things that you've done creating a pond and using all the rotting material. So supplementary food is to give them that little bit extra when times are tough. We tend to think that winter is the really needy time, and it can be. But spring can be a hungry gap for birds, and indeed the advice these days is to keep feeding throughout the year. Maybe decrease the amount that you put out in summer, but keep feeding all the way through. In terms of the golden rules of supplementary feeding, well, first of all, feed quality food. Your wildlife will soon tell you if you're putting out rubbish. Feed variety too, so for birds, for example, mealworms, fatty nibbles, seed mixes, that will provide different nutrients for different birds and they'll know what they need. Make sure that you feed in a safe place, and for birds that usually means in an elevated position where they're away from ground predators. And there are things not to feed too, so for birds, don't feed salted foods. When it comes to hedgehogs, then stick to cat food and proprietary hedgehog food, and certainly don't go down the milk route. But most important of all is to make sure you keep your feeding areas hygienic. It's a gathering place for wildlife, and therefore it's a place where diseases can be transmitted. So sluice down your bird tables and your bird feeders on a regular basis to ensure that your wildlife stays healthy. Do all this and your wildlife will keep you wonderfully entertained as it flocks in. It's about time I put this back where it belongs.